Over the years, I have, when making programs about Hitler, often utilized film shot by his girlfriend, Eva Braun. Among this footage are shots of Hitler interacting with his German shepherd, Blondi, but not without some controversy. I've decided to try and address this controversy in this video. A certain section of film has been taken by many observers to suggest that Hitler was in some way brutalizing or hurting his faithful dog. So let's look at some background to Hitler and his ownership of dogs. It appears that Hitler first became a dog owner by chance when he was serving at the front in World War I. Hitler served for 4 years in the trenches, mostly as a regimental runner, carrying messages between regimental headquarters and the forward companies of his regiment, a very dangerous job that exposed him to enemy artillery and small arms fire constantly, and resulted in him being decorated twice for gallantry, earning the Iron Cross first and second class, and in 1918 a wound badge after being gassed by the British. I would draw your attention to my full-length program about Hitler the Trench Runner, link in the end screen. During combat in 1915, a small white Jack Russell Terrier, probably belonging to a British officer, had found its way into Hitler's forward trench, perhaps chasing a rat, and Hitler caught and adopted him. Hitler named him Fuchsel, or Little Fox. As Hitler recalled, "How many times at Fromelles during the First World War I studied my dog, Fuchsel. I used to watch him as if he'd been a man. It was crazy how fond I was of the beast." However, in August 1917, as Hitler's regiment was moving to a rest area in Alsace, his dog was stolen from him. "I was desperate," recalled Hitler. "The swine who stole my dog doesn't know what he did to me." A certain television series about Hitler's rise to power contains a scene of Hitler viciously thrashing his dog in World War I, but this appears to have been invented for TV. It was not until 1921, when Hitler was now leader of the small National Socialist German Workers' Party, that Hitler could afford to keep a dog, and he chose for his companion a breed that he would always keep for the rest of his life, the German Shepherd, or Alsatian. The German Shepherd was created in the early 20th century by Max von Stephanitz, who wanted to create the primeval German dog, the Germanische Urhund, as close to the wolf in looks as possible, but with the biddability and trainability of the dog. The result was the German Shepherd, an intelligent, strong, and very loyal dog, with clear wolf antecedents, and such an animal appealed to Hitler in several ways. It was an expression of German superiority, and he liked its association with the wolf. His own name, Adolf, meant in Old High German noble wolf, and Hitler was obsessed with the name Wolf, using it as a pseudonym during his early years of the Nazi movement, and later as the prefix to a series of his own headquarters, most notably, of course, the Wolf's Lair in East Prussia. So it comes as no surprise that in 1921 he was given a German Shepherd, which he named Prinz, or Prince. When Prinz died, Hitler had another German Shepherd, this time called Muxel, followed by a mother and daughter, Blonda, born in 1926, and her daughter, also called Blonda, in 1930. And then, in 1941, he received a German Shepherd bitch as a gift from his feared private secretary, Martin Bormann. In 1942, not many people realize that Hitler also purchased another German Shepherd bitch that he named Bella from a minor post office official in Ingolstadt to keep Blondi company. So we do have a problem when looking at film and photographs of Hitler and his German Shepherds. Many photographs and film that are labelled as being of Blondi are not of that particular dog. They are of Bella, they may also have been of the two Blondas, and sometimes they were German Shepherds owned by other members of Hitler's inner circle. Hitler undertook some of his dogs' training himself, but the day-to-day care of his dogs was undertaken by an army dog handler, Sergeant Fritz Tornow, who also cared for some of the other dogs in Hitler's circle, such as Eva Braun's 2 Scottish Terriers, Negus and Stasi, referred to humorously by Hitler as floor mops. It is known that Eva didn't particularly care for Blondi, was known, according to the witnesses of servants at the Berghof, to kick Hitler's dog on occasion, not in front of the Führer, of course. She seemed to be jealous of Hitler and Blondi's very strong bond. So prior to the arrival of Blondi, what evidence is there that Hitler abused his dogs? Well, very little. In the 1920s, Mimi Reiter, a young woman close to Hitler, perhaps romantically involved with him, recalled that Hitler beat his dog Prinz in front of her after Prinz had attacked Reiter's dog, another German shepherd named Marco. It seemed that Hitler would brook no misbehavior from his dogs, but whether Hitler really thrashed the dog to within an inch of its life, as some people have suggested, is not made clear by Reiter. I really haven't been able to find much evidence that Hitler was abusive to his pets. On the contrary, we find a huge amount of evidence that Hitler genuinely loved his dogs and that they were well cared for. As many of you know, Blondi was euthanized on Hitler's order in the Berlin bunker shortly before his own death. The dog's death was used to ensure first the efficacy of SS-supplied cyanide capsules that, in the light of Himmler's betrayal of Hitler doubted, and also, and I think primarily, to save Blondi from being captured by the Soviets after Hitler's demise. Hitler was clear that he didn't want his faithful dog to come to any harm. So let's look at the contentious piece of footage of Hitler and Blondi that has caused a lot of negative commentary. Bearing in mind all the footage I've shown you so far of Hitler with his dog appears to be fairly normal. The footage I'm going to show you is the only example I can find on film that would cast doubts on Hitler's relationship with Blondi. I'm opening this one up to the room. Owners or breeders of German Shepherds, what do you make of Blondi's behavior in this footage with Hitler? Is she simply showing submission to her master, or is this a traumatized or terrified animal, and was Hitler the cause of this fear? Head on down to the comment section and we can have a good discussion about this, and perhaps settle once and for all exactly what the hell was going on. Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.